I believe the Jurahine himself is also here.
And now we got the information that you were unable to come today. I'm very sorry. We welcome you, Nana, you and your entourage. Thank you.
Please swear the witness in.
We will plead with the media to give Nana Num some space. So please, give them the maximum space that will show some respect. We don't want you to, if you can come this way, that will be better than to be standing on their necks.
I, Nana Osei Kweju Ansebi, the Nifahene of the Ejura sub-traditional area, do swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give to this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you. Okay.
Nana, please, you would tell your story, whatever information you have, but we will guide you, lead you, as the lawyers will say, along the way. And then after I am done, then the panel members would ask you any question that they want to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, can you give your name again to the committee?
My name is Nana Osei Kweju Ansebi II. The Osei Kweju Ansebi. I spelled the Ansebi. You are comfortable with the Osei Kweju? Okay.
No, he has to record everything. So get the spelling. A-N.
A-N-S-E-B-I-E. Title, the Nifahene of the Ejura sub-traditional area.
Please, where do you reside yourself? Where do you live?
Ejura.
Now, Nana, please, can you tell the committee the general security situation of the town before these incidents occurred?
Before all was calm, no special commotion. Yes, everything was calm.
Now, Nana, please, can you also tell the committee, if you have any information, did the council receive any information or intelligence about the intended rioting or chaos before the incident occurred? And if so, what action you took?
Intelligence prior to whatever the violence, no. But I will tell you, or I'll tell the committee, the actions Nana Ejura and his elders took as and when the situation developed. On the On the 26th of June, 2021, in the evening about 4 p.m., a group of young men rushed to the palace of the Nifahene. And complained to him about what they perceived as the delay action of the police. On an assault case they had reported at the police station in the morning. They claimed that in the morning they reported to the police that one Ibrahim Mohammed, otherwise known as Kaka Macho, had been assaulted by some unknown assailants. And when they reported to the police, up to the time they came to the palace, they had not seen any police action by way of visiting the crime scene. They therefore had to go back to the police station and, as it were, force the police to take action on the said report. So in their own words, they did not believe the police will handle that incident well. So they had come there to plead with Nana Ejura, Burma Osehidie II, to intervene. Ohene immediately called the municipal police commander on phone. Unfortunately, he could not reach him. I could not get him on phone. He then told the youth to calm down and go back to their respective homes, that he will personally follow up on it, and he believes that the police will definitely do whatever is right. So they left. On Monday, 28th June, in the afternoon, news started filtering in that Ibrahim Mohammed, or Kaka, had died at Konfanochi Hospital. As the news started to spread, sections of the community, that's the Zongo community, started gathering, and late in the evening, they first set up a roadblock. At a location near the Central Mosque on the Ejura Atebubu Highway. All this was happening in the Zongo. A session then moved aggressively through the central business area. And headed towards the police station. They vandalized the charge office. Other offices and vehicles parked there. From there, they continued to attack the municipal assembly revenue checkpoint, not too far away from the police station. Satisfied with the degree of damage caused, the mob dispersed. When the situation calmed down, Nifahene sent urgent messages around, inviting the leadership of the Zongo youth to a meeting at his palace in the morning of Tuesday, 29th June. On 29th June, in the morning, just about 8 a.m., Nifahene met with the section of the youth who reported it. He first extended his condolences to the bereaved family and friends. He thereafter expressed his disappointment and displeasure about the previous day's demonstration and damage caused. He told them firmly that it is the police that has the mandate or the backing of the laws to handle whatever it is that has happened, including the unfortunate death of Kaka. He therefore admonished them to cooperate with the police and other security agencies who were in town to help restore peace. He then urged them to go and give their compatriot a befitting burial. On the same day, 29th, few hours after they had left the palace, we had information that the police van, that's the water cannon, had been chased away from the cemetery by the irate mob. from the cemetery, the crowd moved towards the central business area. Some pavilions painted in MPP party colors were damaged or destroyed. Going by what happened on the 28th of June, we believe the furious crowd will have hit the police station again and also target some buildings or facilities in town. Before they could move into the center of town, the mob encountered the joint police-military patrol. And in the ensuing melee, some of the protesters sustained gunshot wounds. 2 died and 3 were seriously injured. Late in the afternoon the same day, the commanders of the police and military reinforcements called at the palace to request for a meeting with Nananom. The Zongo chiefs, the Ejura chief imam, some opinion leaders, and representatives of the Zongo youth. The commanders took turns to explain that they were in Ejura to prevent any escalation in the crisis. The youth leadership present requested for some time to enable them talk to their friends and brothers on radio and advise them or inform them of the presence of the reinforcement and the fact that they're going to go on patrols. So everybody was to cooperate and avoid any confrontation or any other escalation. From there they left. Fortunately, there was no further crisis that evening. In the morning of 30th June, Burma Osehidi II, the Nigerian, visited the government hospital to check on the injured and other victims of the violence. We were informed there that 2 of the seriously injured had been transferred to Okomfanochi Teaching Hospital, while 4 had been treated and discharged. Ohene then donated 5,000 Ghana cedis to each family of the 2 referred to the Komfanochi and 2,000 cedis each to those who had been discharged and gone home. My Lord, this is the sequence of events, and as Nananom played along or attempted to intervene as they moved forward, We have gone further to analyze the immediate causes, the underlying causes, and further made recommendations. My Lord, this has been captured in a submission that will be presented to the committee. So I will end here and await any further questions. Thank you, my Lord.
We are very grateful.
Thank you.
Please, can we find out, did you get to know the names of some of the youth leaders that you met with on all the occasions?
On all the occasions, no. Normally, we send message. There's one we called, or it's called Idi. It's one of the elders at the Zongo Chief's Palace. Then also the linguist to the Zongo Chief. We normally pass the message through them. And it's not the same persons who came in all these meetings. One or two may be frequent or came regularly. But many of them, as and when they were able to organize them, then they came down. But we did not take the names of those who attended the meetings.
Nana, please, if I may also ask, you have given us the series of events that occurred and the actions that were taken by the Traditional Council. Please, we were given some videos by one of the media persons who testified. And going through them, we realized that there was one where one of the chiefs in the evening of the 29th, just after the shooting, visited the scene where the shootings occurred and gave some interview. And over there, he was given some bullet cases by some of the youth of the town. He was shown and given. So we would want to play that so for your, just to remember. And then if you could help us to know where the bullet eventually ended, where it was taken to, or who it was given to,
Okay.
if it's possible.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Nana, I think I have just been shown some 2 empty shells. Please, can you tell the committee how they were obtained? Or where you got them from, with all due respect?
Thank you. These empty shells were
Yes, Nana, please, if you can tell the committee,
Yeah.
yes, whatever information you have on the said bullet.
Yeah, okay. The chief in the video, as he was introduced, is the Nifahene of Ejura. He happens to be in town when the incident occurred. And once there, he's known in town. So the youth were attracted to him. And obviously, the press also wanted to talk to him. In the course of the interaction or the interview, then from the youth, somebody just landed in his hands or put into his hands these two empty shells to tell him that, see, this is the shots being fired and then whatever, those dropping around. So these are the shells they left with him. He decided to take them away. So when we're coming, he brought it along. So in case it will be required, then it should be shown. So these are the shells, and I wish to hand over to
And we are very, very grateful. And I believe we are not experts. So we would have to forward it to the police.
okay.
And then they would have to conduct whatever investigations they have to in ballistics. We are very grateful.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Nana, please, can I also find out, with all due respect, what is the working relationship between the traditional council and the Emcee, if there is any?
He is the Emcee of the, let me say, the assembly or the municipality. We have very cordial working relationship with him. He participates in all traditional activities, and as and when required, he comes in to either consult or confer with the Nifahene.
We are informed there's a rep of the traditional council who's a member of the music. Please, are you aware of that?
Yes.
Please, may we find out, is that rep in court today?
I am a member
Sorry,
of the,
not court. Before the committee today.
I'm here today. I'm a member of the committee, and I represent the traditional council.
Okay. Thank you so much. Please, may we find out if the Municipal Security Council held any meetings in relation to this, to any intelligence report that you received in relation to this incident?
I have a problem with the intelligence report.
No, we are not asking for the content. We just want to know whether there was a meeting held in relation to these incidents.
From the 8th, 26th, when the incident started, to the best of my knowledge, the Emcee had traveled out on duty. But on the 28th, he called. He called me in person to inform me of the events happening there. And asked of Nifahene of Ejura. So I told him that he had left, going back to his place of duty. But we called him, and he was on the way coming. He called, in fact, he further told me that he too was on his way coming to Ejura. But at the police station, he called the police commander, and virtually the members of the MSEC, or let me say some of the members of the MSEC, who happened to be at the police station on the 28th, and spoke. So if the teleconference could be described as the meeting, yes. But a formal meeting, round table kind of meeting, no. Because he was caught up outside and he couldn't join.
Thank you so much. Please, and can you also describe for us the relationship between the traditional council and the security institutions or heads in Ejura? How is your relationship with them, the council?
Very cordial. We frequently meet as and when the Nifahene or the traditional council requires them. They are always present. They participate in all activities over there.
Nana, thank you very much. I will allow the panel members to ask you questions. Thank you.
Nana Nifahene, you are welcome once again.
Thank you, my Lord.
My first question to you is, do you think if the municipal police commander had been proactive in the complaints lodged by the youth regarding the assault on Kaka, it would have degenerated to the level that it got to?
My Lord, knowing Ejura as it is, and the sort of violence and those things that come in, whether they took immediate action or they delayed, I believe those who did what they did would have done the same thing. It might have contributed to it, but definitely is not the only reason for that.
If I understand you, you are saying that if the municipal police commander had even acted proactively on the complaint lodged in respect of the assault on Kaka, the youth will still have done what they did.
Yes, my Lord. I'm saying that because if it was only the police, their alleged delay, then in the disturbances, they should have limited it to the police. They wouldn't have extended it to go and destroy other facilities, structures, and those things in town. So I believe, yes, it might have contributed. It might have been one of the causes. But I will not say that that's the only thing that led to it.
My next question, Nana, is, in your view, do you think, looking at the conduct of the demonstrators, there was the need for the deployment of the military on that day?
I will, my Lord, again go back with the point that Ejura over the years, I've experienced a lot of such demonstrations where I was not shooting. I mean, not the way where we had the casualty. And invariably, they always had to get the military to intervene and cool down things over there. So I believe getting them in was a good thing. Sadly, it led to casualties, but it was a good thing.
Very well. And in your view, do you think the timing looking at the police reinforcement from the division, then to the region, do you think the timing of the military intervention was too early?
In expressing my view on the timings, things degenerate at a very fast rate when the row started. Like on the 29th, when they started, and from the cemetery, when they chased away the police van, it wouldn't have taken them even 30 minutes to reach the police station and go beyond to wherever it is that they wanted to go. So, timings, if you want to wait and go through the procedure stage by stage, as my prof will ask, maybe in the IS operations, and then this and that. The situation was fluid. It was fluid, and I think the timings was okay.
And the deployment of the water cannon at the cemetery, do you think that was the right thing for the police to have done? People going to bury the dead without any sort of provocation at the cemetery, peacefully burying their dead. Then they move in police water cannon. Don't you think that itself was an act of provocation to the youth?
Act of provocation, to some extent, yes. But with what happened on the 28th, I think the police was being proactive, or probably they were trying to preempt any kind of things. But yes, going there and with the idea that the police maybe did not act, not that they did not assist, because there was nothing they could have done on the death or otherwise of Kaka. But I think, yes, seeing the police over there might have infuriated or irritated the youth at that place, at that point.
Yes, and don't you think that if they were even anticipating any further reaction from the youth, it would have been appropriate for them to have kept the water cannon vehicle at the police station instead of going to the cemetery?
Now, maybe we can, or I can make that comment, because this is after the event. With all due respect, my Lord, I'm not in the police system, and I wouldn't know whatever intelligence or information they had, and then the way they wanted to operate. So as to whether they were at the police station or not, I wouldn't want to give an opinion on that.
In your evidence, you said Nana had spoken. Nana spoke to the youth for them to see the need to remain calm. Yes, that was on the 28th. It was the 29th that they were going to bury Kaka.
Yes.
Yes. That is why I am asking, having spoken to the youth and they have agreed to remain calm, is it not strange that the police will send a water cannon to the cemetery where they were going to bury the dead?
My Lord, Ohini spoke with the sessions of the youth, some of the leadership. Now, as my Lord, you have watched from the video, a lot of them were children, young people who were just going about doing whatever it is that they were doing. They did not attend that meeting with Ohene. And I doubt somebody organized them or gathered them to advise them on what to do and what not to do. So, talking to them alone, I don't think would have prevented. That was the wish of Ohene, that after talking to them, they will also go back and tell their friends, brothers, and relatives to also comport themselves. But that didn't happen. As I mentioned earlier, we spoke with them on the 28th, or even on the 26th when they came there. But on the 28th, they went out and did what they wanted to do. 28th, he spoke with them again. And then 29th, again, they went out to do whatever they wanted to do. So, yes, he did advise them, but a lot of them were working on their own. They had their own minds. So the police, doing their duty, knowing what to do, decided to send the water cannon. If it was a bad decision, now maybe we can say that. But at that material moment, probably the police thought that was the right thing to do.
Well, at least my professor has said a lot about you. So at least sitting here, I know that you have some military background. Yes. Before I hand you over to Prof, I would like to know from you, this is a matter of opinion. Do you think as a nation, there is the need for us to involve the military in situations of riot anywhere in Ghana? Do you think that knowing the, they call it SOP, yes, knowing the standard operative procedures of the military, do you think as a nation going forward, we have to deploy the military in such situations?
The military, the world over, has always been on standby in support of civil authority. So whatever His Excellency the President directs, the military is a tool available to government. So if the situation demands or the situation warrants it, that is why they are there. Yes, they have the primary responsibility, they have the primary duty, but in peacetime, they support civil authority. So as and when it becomes necessary, they may have to be used.
Nana, a very good morning to you once again.
Thank you, Prof. My Lord.
And I personally want to commend you, commend Ohene and the entire Traditional Council for the role you played and you continue to play in this saga. Testimonies we have had show, and what you have given us this morning show clearly the role you played, and it's a very commendable role, very, very commendable. Our presence in Ejura also told us what you have done, and we really want to commend you, and we believe that if in all traditional areas such a relationship with your subjects have such a relationship, then I think we will be going places as Ghanaians. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my Lord.
And Ohene himself, even following to come here, is indicative of the very fact that you love your people and you don't want to see much of these things. Nana Nifahene, yes, my Lord has already let the cat out. I didn't want to. that you have a military background. My question, I want to go on a different tangent. Yes, you are very right that the military, at any point in time, whether at peacetime or wartime, has a secondary duty of supporting civil authority, and they can be deployed. But you know, there are rules, regulations, and at least strategic kind of methodology of supporting civil authority. Nana, this is only asking for your opinion and for us to recommend things to government. Things have happened already. Are you sure in the operations that culminated in the death of 2 and injuries to many, followed, laid down known strategies and principles? I'm talking specific to Ejura incident.
Strategies and principles in the sense of...
Maybe let me go further. Here we have the police under-resourced. I'm asking your opinion whether they rushed too much or they didn't use what is known. 2, we have Operation Calm Life, which has a different SOP in life. Operation COVID. These were the patches of contingents in the area who were rushed to come in and support the police. That is why I'm worried a little.
Yeah, my lord, I wouldn't know where they brought them from. I only saw some of the vehicles they used, which had the inscription Operation Calm Life. But they are military vehicles. And if it's not in use on that exercise, the authorities, within the constraints that we have, could use that vehicle and put the appropriate personnel or whoever it is, put them inside and go and operate. So I wish to state that as to whether the vehicle had Operation Calm Life or COVID on it, there are soldiers in it who came to perform the duty.
Nana, information we have showed that, or testimony showed that, they were the contingents within the area, so they were summoned to come and support. I agree. But then if they had brought through the lines how the police need to hand over to the military and who takes over, because there was confusion over here. The police commander was telling us, even in the operation, he was in command. And then the military man said, I was in command. And because I am in this field, I was laughing. I was confused. And that is why I'm pinning you. I mean, are you sure it was not a knee-jerk, rush, intemperate kind of thing we did to have saved those casualties?
Rush? No. But, my lord, we know the strength and weaknesses of the police as it is now. In Ejura, the whole area, let me say even the whole municipality, we have just one police station. The strength level is very, very low. Equipment, even vehicles. It was the cost of last year that let me use the word, maneuvered to secure some vehicles from the police headquarters. Otherwise, they had an old bullion van, from Bank of Ghana that they were using. And at best, they would go and park it at the place and start moving around because it was very bad. The situation hasn't changed that much as at now. So when we want to use the books and say that, wait, go and confront them, reach this stage before you call RESEC, and RESEC will call this person before they order the military, my lord, we will not be sitting here. If we had to go through that process, we will not be sitting here. Because, as I said earlier, the situation was fluid. And it was not like an organized contingent or group of people from where you can, most of them were children or young men, let me put it that way. In fact, young men and women, they were guests and those things inside. So, in Ejura, under our circumstances, we wouldn't want to hear of that book.
Nana, thank you very much. I'm happy I've led you to where I wanted you to land. Because that is exactly what I was alluding to. If we resource the civil authorities, that's the police in such crisis situations, if we have all the necessary tools for them, we wouldn't be seeing these things, because the military will come in when they have to come in. When they come in, they know what to do. So I'm very happy you've landed exactly.
Thank you, my Lord.
But then, my final question may be, as I said, you see that the interagency kind of cooperation and collaboration that was needed was not there. As a result, what do you think Nananum, or what do Nananum think should be done, particularly for Ejura specifically, and for the nation at large, so that we don't see these things in the numbers that we are seeing them?
We think, one, we need to strengthen the hands of the police in Ejura. We need to resource them. As of now, Nana Ejura has led or is leading Ejura to put up structures for a divisional headquarters. He has spoken with the police authorities, and the condition is, if you are able to help, we will also help. So he has released a stretch of land and started molding blocks with the hope of putting up a divisional command or headquarters. If that happens, one, the strength of the police in Ejura will increase. Two, as we get more and more senior officers on the ground, there are certain things that will be done better or well. Beyond that, Nana Ejura on several fora has requested or insisted the need to establish a military detachment in Ejura. From Kumasi all the way down about 90 kilometers down up to Yeji and all those areas. There's no military detachment. Occasionally we have from Sunyane who come to pass through and go to Atibubu. One situation starts this way. By the time you get reinforcement, under the circumstances we all operate, or let me say all the services operate, it becomes very difficult. So we think that if we have them around, or a detachment around, they will reinforce the police. And then also I must say, the police, not that I'm not passing judgment on their performance, but if you say a policeman is coming, there are some people who are doing something, or maybe that we say misbehaving. If you say, oh, the policeman is coming, maybe we just turn around and smile. At least I know that of Ejura. But the knowledge that we have one or two soldiers even coming around is enough to deter. So we must still have to go back and look at, one, the training, the roles and whatever it is that they have to perform. I've spoken with the police commander, the crime officer and those people on it. They will tell me that, yes, it's not a matter of, like we say in common parlance, buga buga, wake up and go and do anything at all. They live with the people in the community, in the society. So their handling tends to be very different. That is why the perception or the way some of the civil or the youth relate to them is very different when it comes to the issue of the military. So that's why I say that in Ejura, looking at our history, if we have a detachment, it will help.
Nana, good morning.
Good morning.
It seems to me, Nana, that you appear to be saying that even though you know that the police, that the military, they have a different SOP and ordinarily they would be engaged in a different set of activities, you think that there's a place for them in civilian riot control and so on. Is that what I hear you to be saying?
My Lord, I sorry did not get the lead up to that question.
I was saying that even though you have testified before us and given us a rundown of the position of the military vis-a-vis that of the police, it would appear that towards the end of your testimony, you appear to be saying that you would like the military to be involved in keeping the peace amongst civilians, especially in Ejura. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, to a larger extent. Until the police in Ejura in particular, is the numbers rise and is well equipped to handle the situation as they develop. We might need some support from the military by way of a detachment. The presence alone, am I permitted to give quotation in G? A proverb. It says, Abuana de Nihuhu and a Nefu. That is, if we have reason to believe that this farm belongs to the lion, do you think some small animals will come in there and go and this is the farm of the lion, so what are you doing there? So what I'm saying is that if you have certain level of muscles, some attitude, some behaviors will not come up. So if you're able to equip the police to the extent that in Ejura alone, they can perform what is expected of them, I don't think the military will even worry to get involved. But if it is not done, then the authorities are permitted under the law to use the military or any other service, as it were, to assist in peacekeeping.
So in your opinion, Nana, you're saying that it's because the police are not adequately perhaps trained or have the resources. This is why you are requesting perhaps for some military backing. But if we are able to resource them and to train them to the level where you think they can keep the peace, then you do not think that there's a need for military backing. Is this what I hear you saying?
Yes, but that I don't include training in it because I'm not privy to the sort of training that is given to them. I believe they give them all the required training. But I can say from what I see that they have problem with equipment.
Well, I'll move in to my next question. Does Ejura have a community center? Do you have a community center?
We have something we can refer to as the community center. A structure.
Now, okay, so how often do people meet together? I hear you say in this whole process that Nana Ejurahene met with the youth in his palace, but this is only at the point where there was already trouble. during the year, the course of the year, in times of peace, and do the elders meet with young people? How do you interact? What kind of dialogues and conversations do you carry on throughout the year?
Throughout the year, a lot of social activities that goes on there. Wedding, church, service, whatever. Ohine is invited. If he's not there, he delegates the elders, and then we go in. On festive occasions too, we interact. But to say that you go and sit down in a community center, come and talk and those things, I'm not aware of that one. But then at any opportunity, social activity and those things, there's a lot of interaction. And his doors are always open at the palace. At any time that you want to come in, he's available.
Would it be prudent to set up a meeting space, not for Nana Ejura or even for yourself, Nana Nifa, but for opinion leaders, youth groups, to be able to have discussions for community cohesion and building, given the kind of area that you seem to describe that you rule over? Do you think it might be prudent to do that going forward?
My Lord, any activity that will bring peace, yes, it will be prudent.
Thank you.
I forgot something. I'm sorry. In your opinion, what role does or did politics play in all these?
Prof, hey, my Lord, there's nothing that happens in Ejura that you can take politics out of it. Even if you follow the reaction or the comments by people far in Accra, who maybe have not even been to Ejura and did not know what happened, took a tangent and they were just pursuing it and talking, drawing some analysis that maybe did not have any bearing on events on the ground. So in Ejura, everything, including weddings, engagements, everything, there's some element of politics in it, depending on who is doing it and who is leading it.
And we thank you very much. I think at the beginning of your presentation, you said you have written something for us. If you can give it to the gentleman, to you, so that he will hand it over.
Okay.
We are very grateful. We would like to thank Nananom for leaving your seats at Ejura, travel all the way down to let us know your views on events prior, during, and after the incident in Ejura. Nana Ejura, we are very grateful to you for coming. Nana Nifahene, I've seen Krontihene, I've seen is it Obahima?
Yes.
Yes, you are welcome once again, and on your way back, may the good Lord and the ancestors guide your steps and take you to Ejura safely. We are very grateful.
Thank you, my Lord.